Yes, good evening once again and welcome to Global TV. It is 2 degrees in the West Midlands, but really feeling sub-zero degree. Welcome to Global TV. It's another Sunday evening. We're outside of London. We are very awkward this evening because I'm not in my usual settings, nor have I got my usual devices with me. So please bear with me because I can barely see anything on the small screen I'm using. But yes, good evening and welcome to all of you. Like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so yet. Please make sure you subscribe, tell your friends and your family. This is where social justice resides, and if you have an interest in creating a better Jamaica, then this is the place to be for all of us to sit down. We already all know what our issues are. It is time for us as a people, as a nation, wherever we are, at home and in the diaspora, to sit down and start to look at solutions for a better Jamaica. As you can see this evening in the thumbnail, it's asking the question, is it possible to fix or failing healthcare in Jamaica? We are going to look at that scenario this evening. But before we get into the healthcare system, of course, we are on our mission to continue to disperse the lies and to make sure the truth stands on its own. And we want to say to Andre Stephens this evening, congratulations. You have thought it necessary to create a new YouTube channel. This may be a consequences of me calling you out, as well as within the same time you have changed from Premier Kitchen to Partner Jar Kitchen. Congratulations on your listening skill, but try to improve it and listen more, and you will obviously start doing better, because regardless of the you that you are, I am going to advise you to be a better you. But we are still waiting, Andre. Patiently, some of us, eagerly, some of us, earnestly, some of us, awaiting a response to the Jamaica Labour Party conference on last Sunday, Van. It is not right that you have not yet responded. You are seen as the top social justice vlogger in Jamaica, and everybody is looking for a response from you, something that is usual and is the norm. We are looking and waiting to hear your response on the Jamaica Labour Party conference. The silence is rather deafening. People are waiting. They are becoming disappointed. They're rather asking questions, Andre. Has Andre really been sold? Has Andre really sold out? Because this silence from Andre rather is suggesting Andre might have sold out, because this is not the Andre we used to. Ever since he emerged with the phrase, "Me want me partner draw." Andre have continuously, with a narrative on the government of calling out corruption, nepotism, and just lack of accountability, lack of transparency, and lack of government and lack of governance. This is who we know Andre Stephens as. This is what we know him to do. And this is what we are expecting and has been waiting for since last Sunday. Andre's voice is becoming more and more quiet when it comes to the opposition of the Jamaica Labour Party. We heard in a recording played between Andre Stephens and Delano Steve Wright, the chief strategist to the Minister of Tourism, made an offer to Andre Stephens to come and work with them in private, like and share the live. Because every night you might not know what is going to happen over here or what will go down at any point. Rather than dealing with what we know Andre deals with, Andre continues on a malicious narrative of ruin others' reputation and continue what I would describe as the Jamaica Donald Trump by not only just lying, but continuously doubling down on his lies. The narrative was given early on that the producer, who is myself, stole 3.5 million Jamaican dollars. Get your papers and pen. Because if you all know, Wayne the producer is very much a daft person when it comes to number. Me counting, getting into double digits could cause a massive problem for me, because after 9, then it becomes confusing. So you, the audience, get your pen and papers out and stay with me here and help. Good evening, Captain J. It is really good to see you over here. Good evening. If you want to tell your story, Global TV will always provide you the opportunity to do so. However, as I said, get your pens and your papers out. For the last 2 months, we were fully aware that Andre Stephens has been robbed $3.5 million. Now, you heard in my interview where clarification was given of that 18,000 US dollars that Andre calculated to the 3.5. After going on a rant last week and accusing Nerissa, defaming her of stealing your entire 85,000 US dollars, it was never until I made it clear in public that from October of 2022 to August of 2023, 23, we earned 85,000 US dollar prior to back to school. Now, he originally planned to spend 10,000 US for back to school. Because he's much brighter than I am when it comes to numbers, his marking up was hugely over budget. Rather than giving away 10,000 pounds from his money for back to school, he gave away almost 20,000, and then he went into a massive function preparation that takes him up to a 35,000 pound spend US, sorry, a 35,000 US dollars spending in order to put the whole back to school initiative together. So can you all minus from that 85,000 minus 35,000 US? You heard in my interview how much Andre paid me for dismissing me from partner draw. He claimed I stole 3.5 million Jamaican dollar, but it later turned out, sorry, that as a part of the dismissal package, he paid me 18,000 US dollars. 35,000 US plus 18,000 US would be how much? 53,000? Is that it? 35,000 US plus 18,000. 35,000 US was spent at the whole back to school initiative. Then 18,000, and we're talking about the YouTube money. 18,000 was paid to Wayne as a dismissal settlement. So aren't we here at 53,000 US dollars already accounted for? Bear in mind, the narrative from a week ago is that of the 85,000 US dollars, Andre only received 2,000 US dollars. Stay with me, because remember, this is number. I could get awfully confused. So from that 85,000 US dollars, we now have 32,000 US dollars left. Am I correct? The YouTube salary comes in the 21st of every month. So on the 21st of August, a further 10,000 would have come into the account. So how much are we now? If there was 32,000 left of the calculation and 10,000, another 10,000 was added to the account, the calculation of the dunce is that it would be at 42,000. It would be back at 42,000. I want to ask Andre, what happened to that 42,000? Now we know that Andre has not been robbed 85,000 US dollars. We have accounted for 53,000 US dollars. Now let's look at Andre's fancy. I don't know how long this has gone on for, but to my knowledge, we're looking at Andre staffing at the moment. Andre in a recording says he has 30 staff. In a previous live, I've explained to you the level of staffing that I'm aware of and what they do. Let's try to break down some of the spending from the 42,000 US dollars. From his 30 staff, we are aware that he has a masseuse or a massage expert. I don't know what the whims and fancies of those things are. This staff is paid 40,000 Jamaican dollars per service. He offers his service 3 times per week. 40,000 Jamaican dollars 3 times per week would take us up to 120 Jamaican dollars per week. And if you times that by 4, help me here, that's a lot of money. That's almost $500,000 if if I'm right. That's almost $500,000 Jamaican dollar a month that goes to Andre massage therapy. My calculation could be wrong, but help me here. Remember, I'm not good when it comes to numbers. I don't know how much Miss Claudia is being paid. Andre will have to say so. I don't know how much Mr. McLean is being paid. Andre will have to say so. Karen Harriet, his spiritual advisor, is paid 40 to 50,000 Jamaican dollars per fortnight. Would Andre be able to clear this question up for me? Did you pay Karen Harriet? No, head teacher K, 120,000 Jamaican dollars per week. The salary breakdown I'm giving is in Jamaican currency. And the salary breakdown I'm talking about is from the 42,000 US after the back to school 35 and the producer package for 18,000. Answer us this question. Did you pay Karen Harriet $100,000 in September for a spiritual baptism? That's a question that we would like you to answer, Andre. Did you pay Karen Harriet for a spiritual baptism to the tune of 100,000 Jamaican dollars? Let us know how much Mr. McLean and Chantel and Miss Claudia is being paid. Let us know who the other people on your payroll are. Why I'm saying this? If Andre has got no money from the YouTube channel, if all his money from the YouTube channel has been stolen or were used by us and he hasn't got any of it, please tell us, where are you getting the money from, or where were you getting the money from to pay that staffing level? How much Tanya, the administrator, was paid? You are the one who say you have this this level of staffing. Of course, we do know to a degree you have a level of staff around you. I myself, nor the team, is aware of who all these people outside of who I'm referring to is. You need to provide a breakdown of who these people are and how much you've paid them and where you would get money from to pay this level of staffing, where your only source of income other than the donation you were begging was from the YouTube channel. And it is to be said, you were living quite healthy from the donations. It is the reason why you could accumulate all the YouTube money without spending a dime, because you were digging into the pocket of the people every night, even when we tried to stop you. But now it has become an international dive to begging. Then my advice to you, Andre, is milk them, Andre, milk them. Because the choir is willing to go in their purse whenever you shed your tears. Milk them, Andre, milk them. Most of your audience supporter, Andre, if you ask them who is their husband, they're going to tell you Jesus Christ. Use the name of their husband, Andre. Milk them, Andre, milk them. Because a lot of them have no use for their money. If they watch your behavior, Andre Stephens, they will see that since you have gotten rid of Wayne and the team, begging turn up, like begging turn up, but milk them, Andre, milk them. But please do try to help us clear up some of this money. We have cleared up from the 85,000 you said was stolen from you. We have cleared up 55,000. You have also, Andre, for the last 2-3 months, you go on a daily shopping spree on Amazon. You go on Amazon and you forward whatever you want to Nerissa. Sometimes 6 jacket suit, 6 of this. It, as I said in a previous live, you were spending like you just went through a divorce. Remember, all of these expenses, all of this loose shopping and Instagram, I'm sorry about Instagram, Amazon. Remember, these are not market stall purchases. This is not buying sheet and curtain at the side of the road. There's a footprint of all of these purchases. Your audience, Andre, if they're looking carefully, they would have seen your creation of a tenement yard kitchen. Where are you getting those money, Andre, to buy all these kitchen equipment? If you have no money, all your money from your YouTube was stolen. Where are you getting money to buy all these things? But yet you are struck broke. The narrative struck broke because your money was stolen, only because you want to dig deeper into the pocket of your choir. I have no problem you continue scamming these people as long as you're not scamming them with me attached to you. At least when we were there, we try our best to contain the begging. However, it has gone loose now. But please tell us how you are financing all of this that you're doing in public. Is the begging a cover to say they have destroyed me? But even before you start beg, we see you spending a public. You make it look like a one pallet came. Let the people know that it's two pallet of boxes came. It's not just one pallet with a dozen boxes. It's more than one pallet, Andre. Please make it known to the public. All these things that has been bought for you, that you have asked to be bought to set up your restaurant, there is a track record of them. A lot of the money, Andre, and I'm going to say this for the first time, and if you attack her, you know how it will go. Since the collapse of Partner Draw to now and the rapid spending, a lot of this money that has been transferred to you, Andre, was not transferred direct to Andre, because we know Andre begs so much in a private. So till from the time I meet Andre has not been able to collect money in Western Union. Then it means that Andre was collecting a whole heap of money to Western Union. Why would Western Union prevent Andre from collecting money? Because ever since I knew Andre cannot collect money at Western Union. If you send money at Western Union in an Andre name, you have to go back but change it and send it to JN because he can't collect money at Western Union. And it has been like that ever since I knew him. So maybe Andre is in this money dealings for a long time, but because all of us were so apathetic of what's happening in our country and the politics of our country, we focus on what he has to offer, but not on the substance of what he's offering. Tell us where you got those money from to purchase all these things. Because if you're not making, if it's not money from the YouTube channel, Andre, then somebody else, Andre Stephens, somebody else is paying you for something somewhere. We will take a break, and when Global TV returns, we will be asking some questions that is plaguing my mind, and I hope they do raise your eyebrows.
Boom! I mean, I say a couple to the flex they represent for Wayne Global TV. So I say, you know the code in the Wayne Global TV is what fully blessed on 90 days. So I say, yeah man, to the fullest. Yeah man, make sure them log in to Wayne Global TV. So I say, check it out. So I say, one cup of flex. So I say, Wayne Global. When you watch you know, see them a plan up and a try to put them on it and we head. But man, I live too long, them want Wayne Global fitted. To him juggle so smooth that them want him life for dread. I throw the bank I like the miracle, but we ain't all about the bread. We open up in the ears and no listen when we said, cause we lyrics them so smooth like the linen on the bed. Them one with a fall, we live in bandage, I must say true, make this them. We in Global TV, we are 90. Hey. anointed. Who Jaja bless, say no man can curse. Give it the Range Rover, uno drive years. Boom! We in Global TV to the fullest one.
Welcome back to Global TV. Please like and share this live and send it out as far as you can. If you're on the live and you have not subscribed yet, please do so. In future you come across this live, please make sure you subscribe because you will be hearing a lot more over here. While Andre Stephens continued to spun the narrative that all his money has been stolen, he has worked so hard up late night and has not been able to get his money because we all stole his money. While in public, if you're watching, Andre Stephens' spending doesn't add up. Because if your only source of income is from the YouTube, and if you're doing all these massive spending, then something really, really doesn't add up. I want to ask this question. My mind goes on a goose chase, especially after realize that I'm being fooled. Then my mind tend to go on a goose chase and backtrack and look at everything from I met Andre Stephens onward. My mind just literally and naturally run wild like that. My question is, could Andre have been commissioned by the Jamaica Labour Party to do a research on the people? What does this fool mean? Has he gone into his university bullshit or whatever? No. We always hear Andre speak about problem, reaction, solution. We also always hear Andre tells us, I am a researcher. And we always hear Andre tells us, Andrew is a scientist. Now, a scientist and a researcher coming together, you know it could be exploration for dominance, especially if they are the type that Andre turned out to be, and if they're also the type that we deem our Prime Minister to be. Andrew and Andre could be a dangerous combination for our country. Why Wayne is thinking Andre was sent to do a research on the people, and what would that research be? Was Andre sent to test our obedience? Was Andre carrying out an obedience exercise on the nation? Why am I asking this question? Andre came out. Let's look back at timeline. Andre came out just about when the Prime Minister started to become hugely unpopular. Because if we remember in 2020 at the start of the pandemic, our Prime Minister, in the way he was handling himself and the narrative he was feeding us, he was likened to Prime Minister Michael Manley. I'm sure we all remember that narrative was being run by a lot of us. Andrew Holness, even in the mainstream media, Andrew Holness is the Michael Manley of our time. It was on the back of that. The Prime Minister in the middle of the pandemic took us to a general election, got a majority in Parliament on a 21% of the populous vote, because the populous vote was at 30, 40-something%, but however, it was 21% of the populace voted for the Jamaica Labour Party, and I think 17 or thereabout for the People's National Party. So we saw how it turned out, and the undemocratic landslide or illegitimate landslide that the government claimed to have won. After that, the Prime Minister popularity turned south. His actions awokeness, and a lot of people started to look at his behavior, and he started to get in brand as dictatorship. People more start talking about his corruption and all of that. And Babs, your uncle, Andre, comes out. Was Andre sent to research the mood of the nation? Was Andre sent to test the nation to see what their reaction would be to social justice revolution? Problem, action, solution. We see at the time as well the Prime Minister start militarizing the country and weaponizing. Could he send to test us to see how we would respond? That would also give the government a feel to see how far they can stretch with us. Because Andre is testing how obedient we are or how complacent we are. Why do I think Andre was carrying out an obedience exercise on us? All the demonstration and everything that he was pushing, it wasn't just Andre that was pushing for it, because it is something that our nation needs to get active in. But could this be a part of the research that Andre was given? If he was given a research by the Jamaica Labour Party to test our obedience. Things then came to a collapse. Just before the final conference, before we go into an election. Because there isn't a fixed election date, the Prime Minister could well call the general election next February in the same time as the local election. He can't do that. Is the coming out of Andre, when the Prime Minister credibility and popularity was going south, is it a coincidence that just before the Prime Minister is ready to turn on the thing, we can turn it on when we want, then Partner Jaw TV has been turned off? Not only the movement Partner Jaw TV has been silenced, the very lips of Andre Stephens have been silenced. This is something that is bugging me, and Andre need to honor the public, his supporters, and provide them an explanation. Since all of this has been going on in public, you have done nothing but accusation. You have never once provided an explanation to any of the accusation you've made in public. It's a continuous spiral of accusations, baseless accusations, and your audience continuously refuse to hold you to account. That is very dangerous. For a person who've got even an ounce of influence, that is very dangerous. To have an unhinged, manipulative mindset, defaming people's character in public with a die-hard Christian audience. A die-hard Christian audience of majority female who control the mindset of the younger generation has not once asked Andre Stephens for accountability or an understanding from his side. They rather use God to cover the demons that they see in front of them. Another question, as I said, my mind goes on a goose chase and it backtracks. Something else I want to ask the professor. We saw you at the People's National Party conference. Was this a strategic move by Andre Stephens and the Jamaica Labour Party? It is bothering me. And if something bothers me, and you know me well, then I'm going to ask the question. Was Andres, now that we know, rolled up back when, roll up, like and share the live, because we're asking questions that goes to the heart of Andres' credibility. While we're now aware that Andre was working both sides of the political fence, he sought to have public alliance with the People's National Party and is seeking to advise the party, advise candidates of the party, be of PR support and media support. All these conversations were being had with the People's National Party for a fee. We then heard in the recording where he was offered to work with the Jamaica Labour Party in private. No pushback on the offer. He was entirely fine with the offer. He went further to tell the politician, the advisor to the chief strategist, the chief strategist to the Minister of Tourism. Andre Stephens went on to tell him, if Andrew Holness or Juliet Holness call me tomorrow morning, am I gonna be the person not to answer? Suggesting, of course, I'm willing and waiting for the Prime Minister and his wife to call me. We now know Andre Stephens is a double agent. It is my opinion that from August to now, Andre has been doing a lot of what he might have been paid to do or not do under the disguise of mental health. Now we know that Andre is a double agent. Could Andre have been paid by the Jamaica Labour Party to go to the People's National Party conference looking like an absolute clown? In the recording, we heard him said to Delon, "You think if me did want help the PMP, me now done gone long time? Think about it." That was Andre's word to the politician who offered him to work in silence, and hooray, hooray, Partner Draw TV has collapsed. Not only that, Andre's lips has rather been glued. Andre's lips has rather been glued, and we don't know if there is a way to unglue Andre's lips, because it seems as if the deal was that shining and sweet, so one could give up a Wall Street salary and their influence to create a tenement yard kitchen. It doesn't add up. Like his spending doesn't add up. His fall from grace doesn't add up either. His spending does not add up. Neither does his fall from grace. And if it is not confusing you, you haven't been watching where it is going. Did the Jamaica Labour Party pay Andre Stephens, one, to do a research on the obedience of the nation? Two, did they pay Andre Stephens to go to the People's National Party conference acting like an absolute fool? There are other recordings that will show and will explain the double standardness of Andre and his dealings and working with the Jamaica Labour Party. We will return.
Yeah, well, it is I, Bad Bass Alice, representing on behalf of Dancehall. This is the station of all time, Global TV, Brothers of all time, Holness Andre rep, yeah, General of all time. Master with me say, yeah, but the people them love you bad. Fully informative, salute, like they have to live. Yeah, well, it is I, Bad Bass Alice, representing on behalf of...
Welcome back to Global TV. Please make sure you're liking the live. I am not been able to see what's going on tonight because, as I said, I'm a done Satan on this device I'm on. I've never done a live on my iPad before, so I can barely see anything from my old eyes, but please bear with me. I am going to come back to Andre Stephens, but bear with me while I turn my attention to the Prime Minister, to Christopher Tufton, and to Nigel Clark. You will understand further why those three. the state of our nation's healthcare. If you were listening to the Jamaica Labour Party conference last Sunday, or if you were at the conference and is in a docile spirit, you would walk away from the conference, and bear in mind, I'm talking about the state of our nation's healthcare. If you were at the conference, you would walk away believing that Jamaica has a healthcare fit for service. Bear in mind that even though our Prime Minister and government spoke the narrative that we have a developing or promising healthcare that is doing fine, bear in mind that when they're ill, they do not use those very dilapidated services that they're telling us in their conference speech how well they are. Because one woman stand on the podium and tell us how Cornwall Regional Hospital is bigger and better than ever. And even though I have not received any images since then, my understanding of Cornwall Regional Hospital is more like a makeshift hospital in a war zone. It would be helpful if the government could give us an update with images of the current situation at Cornwall Regional Hospital, the over budgeting, and when we're looking at a completion. That would be helpful rather than the narrative you put forth at conference. But while the government and the Jamaica Labour Party is working their way up to an election with lies and promises we see spouted at the JLP conference last Sunday evening, the nation is saying something rather different of the state of our nation healthcare, because a lot of people are been reaching out to me by text, been phoning me. Please speak about our healthcare because it is getting worse by the day. From time to time, we see images coming out of our hospital that looks, and hospital all across the island, whether you want to talk about Black River Hospital, Sablamar, Spanish Down, wherever in the island you are, Brownstown or wherever, St. Thomas, wherever you are in the island, the images coming out of our hospital is always a deplorable condition, more likened to a war zone. If you are Jamaican, you would know, and if you're a Jamaican diaspora, you would know that the luxury we have at whatever hospital we turn up to, there's a loads of equipment there to, in most cases, carry out the necessary tests needed, or there would be some nearby facility of other facilities should that facility not have what is required at the time. Our healthcare, it is not so. We live in a country where we have one CT scanner across the nation, one that we know of that serves the country. It is not just the lacking of CT scan. I'll try to itemize the lacking in our healthcare, and this is just a tip of the iceberg that I could think of. There's a lack of equipment across our hospitals, whether it be CT scan, X-rays, MRI machine, dialysis machine, whatever the medical or clinical apparatus is, our country from east to west, north to south is lacking. Bear in mind, we were told how well our healthcare is doing. There's a woeful lacking. We see that information coming out time after time. There's a woeful lacking of surgical, clinical, and general equipment across our country for our hospitals. There's a lack of capacity and a lack of beds in our hospitals. There's a lack of ambulances in our healthcare and a lack of emergency care. You just look at when there's issues of trauma within our society, whether it be an accident, a stabbing, a gunshot wound, or those people do not get first aid treatment in the way that we are used to it in the West. A lot of people who died in Jamaica could be saved if we have a robust emergency service and good ambulance support. A lot of our people die from wounds and bleeding out and lack of many things across our healthcare. These were the reason why Andre captured us, because we want to see good happen in our country. All across the country, Prime Minister, there's a woeful lacking. The people are asking for a better health care. The health of the people is the highest form of law, Prime Minister. Thus you all could, in the name of health and law, place stringent restrictions on us in the last 2 years or 3 years during that period. Here is what the nation is asking, Prime Minister, and what everybody in the country should stand up and ask for, now that we know and see that you're in an election campaign and your party is willing to buy the silence of those who stand on the side of social justice. We are asking for 14 X-ray machines. We're asking for 14 MRI scanners. And we're asking for 14 CT scanners. Now, this is the bargain between the government and the people, if you want, our vote. If the Jamaica Labour Party is serious about fooling us, then fool us with something that we can hold on to. You should not, Jamaica and Jamaicans, give away your right and the right of 10 generations down the line for 20,000 in an envelope, like what happened last weekend, just to show that the Prime Minister have a bounce back. You should not sell your vote for the short term. You should rather stand up and demand better health care. Make sure in every parish, this is what you need to take to your MPs and your councillors, because there's an upcoming election campaign. There is an upcoming election campaign. Do not sell yourself cheap this time. Be aware and be awoke. And make sure if you're selling yourself and your generational rights, do it at least for something. Don't sell us out like Andre Stephens and then spiral down south. Make it be about the health of the nation. If the nation health is being improved, a lot more improvement will be coming behind that. If you are serious about improvement this time, Jamaica, sell your votes for 14 X-ray machines, 14 CT scanners, 14 MRI scanners, and 14 dialysis machines. What that would do, Jamaica, after polling day, and it shouldn't be a promise. The government shouldn't tell you that they don't have the money to do it. Because if the government doesn't have the money, then the government can come to us and give us a breakdown of how the millions and billions of COVID grants and donation were being used and what's left of it and how much of it you could use to invest in the national health care. But if the government is going to come to us and say that, we can say woo woo woo, then if you're not prepared, if you're prepared to fund the proceeds of crime, Prime Minister, and the Jamaica Labour Party, then you should also be prepared to fund the health of the nation. Because we saw where they found 14 million upwards per month or whatever to pay SSL, a company that a lot of fraudulent activities happening, a lot of people money gone missing. The government has from nowhere find the money to make sure that their friends in high places who have scammed and robbed from poor people, they have botched them up. The government, this is the message that you should bring to your MPs and your councillors. We will not vote without improvement in our health care. We would rather take the chance of voting for another party if this government cannot show us that they care before election, if this government cannot delay their election strategy and to make sure do meaningful work for the people by improving our health care, make sure we have the needed x-rays across the island so our people, when ill, don't have to run. Everybody across the island don't have to run one place just to seek that service. It is about time that at least one of these equipments in each parish across the country. It is not right or workable that one of such machines is serving 3 million people when the government is militarizing the country needlessly. The same government who wants to go into Haiti for humanitarian purposes under the disguise of what France or America is sending them to do. The same government that unheard ofly, if there's a word, because Donald Trump did come normalize bigly, unheard ofly prosecute asylum seekers turning up on your shore, your brothers and sisters from Haiti, which you are going to save humanitarianly. You're charged them from fleeing from what you want to go and save them from. The dichotomy of this prime minister is as telling as the dichotomy of the Andre they sent to fool us. But as a nation, and those of you back home, and those of you who will be in the diaspora, who will be heading home to vote whenever an election is called, do not sell yourself cheap. If you're thinking about the length of your hand at the next general election, think about your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. How much this 20,000 or this 25,000 that I'm taking from the Jamaica Labour Party at this point, how much will that help my grandchildren and my children? If a government has been in office for 7 years and has not delivered on any of the promises it makes, and is coming back to advance more lies in order to secure a vote for another term, then the people ought to be given directions and knowledge as to how they should proceed, because you should not only be able to sell yourself out because I'm a loyalist. Your loyalists will not help you at the time of illness. Your loyalists will not help you in the time of trouble. What we need is a good public service that can assist us or give us the push and the drive to continue to develop us and our nation. I've been rather here long tonight because you all know that I usually stay within the hour. But in closing, I want to say to you, don't get fooled by the Donald Trump syndrome. Because tomorrow night, we will return. And when we return tomorrow night, we will be asking a big question, a question that we may never get an answer to, a question that might place me under further attack from the religious alliance. But tomorrow night, we will be asking, is Andre Stephens a social justice activist, or is he a double agent? Good night. Thank you for being here, and we will see you tomorrow evening. Like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell. And please do remember to also share in your WhatsApp group and tell them, be here tomorrow when we will explore, is Andre a social justice activist or the double agent? Good night.
Global TV send another one. Oh, 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 oh. TV, send another one home.